Hello everyone, my name is Advocate Manik Chaube. I welcome you all to our official YouTube channel of LawPred Tutorial. Today we are here gathered to discuss a very important issue, an issue which also involved the Supreme Court of India. Again, mind my words. Why I am saying again? Because Supreme Court of India recently banned a textbook, a social science textbook of class 8. And this was not back in years, it was just in the last month. It was on 26th of Feb 2026 that Supreme Court took suo motu cognizance and banned this book of class 8, this textbook of class 8. And on that particular book ban, this person which you could see on my screen, right, this person, Rishi A. Kumar, he's a student of final year law program under Tamil Nadu National Law University, right? So he published an article, he published a blog which said that Supreme Court of India has no spine, has no spine. On this particular issue, there was a big controversy. He's fighting a battle. He's fighting a battle related to this particular thing. He's fighting a battle with academics. He's fighting a battle with legal fraternity. He's fighting a battle with the court as well, right? But again, the important thing here is he's not backing out. He's not backing out. So let's discuss this issue and see what is all in this particular issue. See, first of all, I hope you are able to see this. It was the Hindu News, right? This article was published by the Hindu and it said the student who refused to back down or back down. Now, when the Supreme Court banned a class 8 civics chapter and a 22-year-old law student dared to ask why. He asked why. What followed was a collision between judicial authority, free speech and the soul of legal education in India. Legal education in India. Now, let's see it at a glance. Who was the student? It was Rishi Kumar. He was 22 years old. He was final year student of Tamil Nadu National Law University. Blog title, it was titled as The Supreme Court of India Has No Spine. It was published on Substack. It was submitted or it was published on 14th March 2026. What triggered? Supreme Court suo motu banned NCERT Class 8 Social Science textbook on Feb 26, 2026. Right? So after this, he published a blog which said the Supreme Court of India has no spine. What was the pressure upon him? University emails citing complaints from advocates, high court judges and lawyers. So many people had emailed the universities about complaining of that child, of that boy, right? From advocates, high courts, judges and lawyers. So that is why I am telling you that he is fighting a battle with the legal fraternity itself, right? But still he is not backing out. That's very good actually. Now, what was the response? The student refused to delete the blog. The student refused to delete the blog and received alumni solidarity. Received alumni solidarity. Outcome, no disciplinary action. University publicly expressed support. So, university publicly expressed the support to him. Now, what it all started? What started it all? Let's see. The NCERT textbook controversy, February 26. Now, in February 2026, a new NCERT Class 8 social science textbook quietly arrived in classrooms across India. It contained a civics chapter that did something unremarkable in functioning democracy, right? It acknowledged that the judiciary, like any institution, has challenges, right? Of course, we know that. Then the chapter noted three things every legal professional openly admits. What? The corruption exists in pockets of the system. There is a massive backlog of cases and there is a chronic shortage of judges, right? So these things are actually admissible, मतलब सब लोग इसको admit भी करते हैं. None of this was controversial doctrine. It was a factual civics lesson, right? That is why this boy gave this blog, right? In February 26, 2026, the Supreme Court imposed a complete blanket ban on the textbook and orders all physical and digital copies to be seized. On March 11, 2026, the court permanently blacklists the chapter's authors Michael Denino, Suparna Divakar and Alok Prasanna Kumar, banning them from any future government textbook work. So उनको बैन भी किया गया एंड उस बुक को भी बैन किया गया प्लस उसके जो ऑथर थे उनको भी ब्लैकलिस्ट परमानेंटली करा दिया गया. ठीक है, दिस वाज द सुप्रीम कोर्ट्स स्टैंस ऑन दैट बुक. नाउ आफ्टर दैट द लॉ स्टूडेंट्स ब्लॉग वो क्या बोलता है? इट वाज पोस्टेड ऑन 14th March 2026, a Substack post that shook law schools. What did it say? Rishi Kumar, a 22-year-old final year student at Tamil Nadu National Law University, had watched the controversy unfold with growing disbelief. So he was not believing this particular thing that Supreme Court would ban the book itself, and it would permanently blacklist the authors as well from taking future government textbooks, right? On March 14, 2026, he opened the Substack and began typing. Now, what happened after that? The Supreme Court of India has no spine. This was the title of that blog. In his post, Kumar made 3 pointed arguments. He made 3 pointed arguments. What was those arguments? Let's see. The first one was the court had decided that class 8 students were too young to encounter a civics chapter that spent 14 pages praising the judiciary and merely 2 paragraphs acknowledging its flaws. So basically उसका कहना ये था कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उस पर्टिकुलर इंसिडेंट को ऐसे बोला कि भाई 8th क्लास में जो बच्चा है, दे आर टू यंग, राइट? दे आर टू यंग टू एनकाउंटर सिविक्स चैप्टर दैट स्पेंट 14 पेजेस प्रेजिंग द जुडिशरी, राइट? उसमें से उस पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर के अंदर 14 पेजेस जो थे वो प्रेज कर रहे थे जुडिशरी को, एंड merely 2 paragraphs were there which were acknowledging its flaws, right? After that, permanently barring the authors from contributing to government curriculum was punitive overreach, a chilling message to every academic in India. So punitive, basically you are creating a deterrent effect here, right? You are creating a deterrent effect here that in future also you are not going to do this kind of work, right? You are not going to do this kind of, if you do, then we will blacklist you as well permanently, right? Next, the another point he made was under Article 19 Clause 2, the court is not the state. The court is not the state in this context, and law cannot be equated with the judicial orders. The ban therefore had no constitutional basis as restriction on free speech. So basically you have freedom of speech and expression under Article 19 Clause 1A, right? And then under 19 Clause 2, state can reasonably restrict you. State can reasonably restrict you. But he said that court is not state. That court is not state. And since court is not state, you cannot say that judicial orders are equal to law, right? Judicial orders are equal to law. After that, let's see the institution blinks. How pressure reached a 22-year-old student's inbox. What happened? So there was this particular email. The article did not sit quietly. Within days, TNLU's administration found itself fielding calls from the Supreme Court advocates, High Court lawyers, and reportedly from judges themselves, right? The complaint was the same: take the blog down. Take the blog down. Another very important issue बेटा, कि आप कोई भी सोशल मीडिया पे कंटेंट पोस्ट करते हो, किसी भी तरीके का कोई भी कंटेंट पोस्ट करते हो, उसको टेक डाउन कौन से एक्ट के अंदर किया जाएगा? इट विल बी IT Act, that is Information Technology Act 2000, and it will be specifically section 69A, right? It will be specifically section 69A. याद रखना, ठीक है? Moving forward, the university forwarded the concern to Kumar in an email with a pointed note: the reputation of the institution is at stake, right? आगे देखो क्या हुआ. University officials later clarified that their communication was advisory in nature, triggered not by any official proceeding but by the threatening messages from individuals claiming to be lawyers from other states, right? तो यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफिशियल्स ने उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई किया कि हमारा सिर्फ कम्युनिकेशन करने का पर्पस था, एंड जो कम्युनिकेशन थी वो एडवाइजरी नेचर की थी, वो हम सिर्फ एडवाइस कर रहे थे कि आप इस पोस्ट को, इस ब्लॉग को जो है टेक डाउन कर सकते हो। ट्रिगर्ड नॉट बाय एनी ऑफिशियल प्रोसीडिंग, कोई भी ऑफिशियल प्रोसीडिंग उसके अगेंस्ट नहीं की है, बट बाय थ्रेटनिंग मैसेजेस। नाउ अब थ्रेटनिंग मैसेजेस उसको आ रहे थे किसकी तरफ से? फ्रॉम द लॉयर्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट स्टेट्स, अदर स्टेट्स, राइट? The picture that emerged was one of informal pressure, no contempt notice, no formal legal action, just phone calls and stern emails working their way down a chain until they reached a student's inbox. तो स्टूडेंट के इनबॉक्स में बहुत तरीके के मेल्स गए, मैसेजेस गए, ये सारी चीजें उसके इनबॉक्स में गई, बट किसी भी तरीके का कोई कंटेम्प्ट नोटिस नहीं गया, ना कोई फॉर्मल लीगल एक्शन लिया गया, बट सिर्फ बेसिकली देयर वाज जस्ट थ्रेटनिंग्स, राइट? देयर वाज जस्ट threatens, right? Threats basically. अब आगे देखो, the refusal. Kumar holds his ground. He refused to take down that particular blog, right? And he finds he is not alone. He finds he is not alone. He did not delete the blog, and in that small act of non-compliance, something unexpectedly large happened. People rallied, right? उसके पीछे और लोग आए. आगे student body, fellow students at Tamil Nadu National Law University publicly voiced support and appreciation for Kumar's decision to stand firm. Next, alumni, the entire graduating batch issued a formal solidarity statement placing the episode in a broader context of academic freedom. In a broader context of academic freedom, right? आगे क्या लिखा है देखो, I am surprised by judges, right? He told the Hindu that I am surprised by judges issuing de facto takedown orders. Now, what do you understand by de facto, beta? It means by the fact. It means by the fact. And एक word होता है बेटा de jure. De jure क्या मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? By the law. By the law. ठीक है, अब यहाँ क्या लिखा है? I am surprised by the judges issuing by the fact takedown orders to students through their universities simply for criticizing them. I understand that the pressure is coming from very credible people. It is not something they can take on easily, right? So he's saying that आप by the fact you cannot take down orders, right? आप जो orders हैं on law, इस law के perspective से अगर आप देखो तो आप उसको take down करवाना चाहते हो तो समझ आता है कि law आपने कोई violate किया, उसके हिसाब से take down किया जाए उस post को, but आप सिर्फ fact के basis पर आप उसको टेक डाउन करने के लिए नहीं बोल सकते, राइट? सो आगे क्या लिखा है देखो, द वर्डिक्ट, नो पनिशमेंट, ए यूनिवर्सिटी फाइंड्स इट्स वॉइस. तो फाइनली यूनिवर्सिटी ने भी क्या बोला? यूनिवर्सिटी ने भी स्पेसिफिकली बोला दैट नो पनिशमेंट विल बी गिवन. ए यूनिवर्सिटी फाइंड्स इट्स वॉइस, राइट? आगे क्या है देखो, ऑन मार्च 24, 2026, ऋषि कुमार टोल्ड द हिंदू दैट he had resumed his regular classes. Now he is going to his classes. No disciplinary action had been taken. कोई भी एक्शन नहीं लिया गया यूनिवर्सिटी के द्वारा. The university, under the weight of its own stated values, had to come around. Obviously, मतलब आप अपने स्टूडेंट को सपोर्ट करोगे if he is doing something good, right? तो यूनिवर्सिटी also held the ground, right? Had to come around. Now, what was the official statement made by Tamil Nadu National University? We are not going to punish Mr. Kumar, as he wrote in his personal capacity and did not mention TNNLU anywhere in his article. He is standing up for his constitutional values and we respect that. The Supreme Court is not infallible. The Supreme Court is not infallible. This was the statement, official statement given by Tamil Nadu National Law University. Now, is this new? Is this something new where Supreme Court has been criticized and Supreme Court has relented again, reverted with very strict views? Is that the first time? Answer is no. It has happened earlier as well. Parliament के साथ भी हुआ है और Supreme Court के साथ भी हुआ है. Criticism उनको जो है किया जाता है, criticize किया जाता है, उसके बाद फिर भी वो उस चीज को कभी भी डिनाई नहीं कर सकते. क्रिटिसिज्म इज और शुड बी अलाउड ऑलवेज, राइट? इंडिया हैज अ लॉन्ग एंड अनकंफर्टेबल हिस्ट्री ऑफ इट्स जुडिशरी बीइंग सेंसिटिव टू पब्लिक क्रिटिसिज्म. द तमिलनाडु नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी एपिसोड डिड नॉट इमर्ज इन अ वैक्यूम. अब इन अ वैक्यूम मतलब आइसोलेशन में नहीं हुआ, इससे पहले और भी चीजें हुई हैं, ठीक है? देखो 2009-2010 में क्या हुआ? कंटेम्प्ट प्रोसीडिंग्स अगेंस्ट प्रशांत भूषण आफ्टर ही अलेज्ड दैट हाफ ऑफ द लास्ट 16 चीफ जस्टिसेस ऑफ इंडिया वर करप्ट. His father former law minister Shanti Bhushan submitted a supporting affidavit. Now that case was dragged for 12 years. That case was dragged for 12 years. Next, in August 2022, the Bhushan contempt case finally closed. He clarified he used corruption to mean a lack of propriety. The closing bench, including Justice Suryakant, who would go on to lead the 2026 NCRT proceedings, closed after clarification. ठीक है. Now this time, February and March 2026, NCRT book ban, authors blacklisted, Tamil Nadu National University students blogs critically, judges and lawyers pressure university to act, student vindicated, no action taken. No action taken, right? Legal experts commenting on the episode noted a troubling dynamic. Some voices were more loyal than the king, right? University administrators and lawyers acting more aggressively to protect the court's image. They were acting more aggressively to protect the court's image than the court itself had directed. तो कोर्ट ने ना कोई लीगल प्रोसीडिंग करी, ना कोई कंटेम्प्ट प्रोसीडिंग करी, किसी भी तरीके का कोई फॉर्मल एक्शन नहीं लिया गया कोर्ट की तरफ से. बट फिर भी लॉयर्स, एडवोकेट्स एंड academics, that means the university, वो उतावले ज्यादा हो रहे थे as compared to judges, right? आगे देखो, the constitutional question जो important है. At the heart of this entire episode lies a question of for every clad aspirant must be able to answer, and every democracy must constantly negotiate. What? Can a citizen criticize the Supreme Court without fear of institutional retaliation? Can? Answer is yes. It should be yes, of course. Article 19 clause 1 gives you freedom of speech, guarantees every Indian citizen the right to freedom of speech and expression. This includes the right to criticize public institutions, right? And including courts. Next, it is permissible restrictions, right? It is permissible restrictions. Article 19 clause 2 बताता है, allows the state to restrict speech. Again, यहाँ पर word use किया है बेटा, याद रखना, state. They are using the word state. And this was the thing pointed out by this Rishi Kumar, that courts are not state, and institutionally वो जो भी state बोलता है that is law, and जो court दे रहा है decision that is just judicial order. Now moving forward, to restrict speech through law, but Rishi Kumar's argument, the court is not the state here and a judicial order is not law under Article 13. The ban had no valid basis. Alright, the fact that no contempt action was taken against Kumar despite the significant institutional pressure suggests that the line between legitimate criticism and contempt of court was not crossed. So here basically he was not punished by the university, by anyone. So यहाँ पर ये चीज clear हो जाती है that it was just a legitimate criticism and contempt of court was not crossed. But the chilling effect of that pressure on academic freedom in law schools is a question that lingers. Obviously, तो अब यहाँ पर academics basically university ने भी retaliate तो किया ही था, right? Retaliate तो किया ही था against ऋषि कुमार, but उसके बाद उन्होंने इस चीज को आगे बढ़ने नहीं दिया. ठीक है, अब क्लैट के लिए आपके एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है इस चीज को समझ लो बेटा, ये बहुत ज्यादा आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. सभी लोग ने ये पर्टिकुलर न्यूज तो समझ ली है, बट आपके एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है. देखो, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ में आर्टिकल 19 क्लॉज 1A एंड 19 क्लॉज 2, फ्री स्पीच एंड इट्स परमिसिबल रिस्ट्रिक्शंस. अनदर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इशू, कंटेम्प्ट ऑफ कोर्ट. आपको हो सकता है क्वेश्चन में देखने को मिले क्लैट 2027 में, इफ नॉट इन द क्वेश्चन पेपर इट मे कम इन सैम्पल पेपर्स एटलीस्ट, राइट? तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इशू है कंटेम्प्ट ऑफ कोर्ट का. वेयर डज लेजिटिमेट क्रिटिसिज्म एंड एंड पनिशेबल कंटेम्प्ट बिगिन? पनिशेबल कंटेम्प्ट बिगिन, ये क्वेश्चन इंपॉर्टेंट है. जुडिशियल रिव्यू एंड सू मोटो, कैन कोर्ट्स इनिशिएट प्रोसीडिंग्स ऑन देयर ओन मोशन विदाउट पिटिशन? अगेन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इशू. यस. एकेडमिक फ्रीडम, कैन इंस्टीट्यूशंस बी प्रेशर्ड टू एक्ट अगेंस्ट स्टूडेंट एक्सप्रेशन? अगर स्टूडेंट कुछ भी बोल रहा है, क्या यूनिवर्सिटी को प्रेशर कराया जा सकता है, प्रेशराइज फील कराया जा सकता है सो दैट वो स्टूडेंट के अगेंस्ट एक्शन ले? अनदर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इशू, सेपरेशन ऑफ पावर, इज अ जुडिशियल ऑर्डर इक्विवेलेंट टू लॉ अंडर आर्टिकल 13 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन? क्या जो भी जुडिशियल ऑर्डर या जजमेंट कोर्ट दे रहा है या कोई भी ऑर्डर पास कर रहा है, तो क्या आप उसको लॉ की तरह ट्रीट करोगे, एंड क्या आप कोर्ट को एज अ स्टेट ट्रीट करोगे? ये एक बड़ा क्वेश्चन है. ठीक है, एंड दिस इज द इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट फॉर योर एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. So that is it from my side. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next session.